what's going on between 50 Cent and Big Meech.
Oh, God. Well, you know.
Hold on. I got to preface. I got to warm it up.
Yeah.
I got to prepare the plate and serve it.
Uh-huh.
So if you're on the internet like we are on the internet and you in these YouTube streets, 50 Cent, mogul, pretty much set a fire.
Yeah.
Today was announced that Big Meech welcome home party in Miami got canceled. If you're under the age of 35 and you don't know who Big Meech is, go look him up. I don't got time to explain it to you, but pretty much underlord drug kingpin or whatever that got arrested. He just came home a few months ago. But what he did was he didn't do his research before he stepped on the internet and immediately jumped into the wrong lane, I think, by taking a picture with Rick Ross, who is 50 Cent's op.
Oh.
Now, people will say, well, what that got to do with 50 Cent? He just needs to be an adult. He did proper business. He shouldn't be crying about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the context. What is your thoughts on what's going on between 50 Cent and Big Meech?
I think well, let me say this. Let me start with this. To put it all in perspective, I think a conversation needs to be had. And I think that it needs it. I know 50 ain't trying to hear it, but at the thing, I want to know what made you thought that was okay. And you from the same arena that I'm from, so you know better. And I'm not trying to say that to Big Meech just like he's a child, but you know better. Why would you take a picture with Rick Ross? You know, and Rick Ross stayed throwing shots. Now let me say something, and then I'm putting this all into one ball. I heard Benzino say like, "Yo, we got to stop with the bullshit," because they asked him on Street Life. That shout out to that podcast too, and interviewers, and he said, "Yo, we got to stop with this." He's like, 50, you know, we're in a small industry. You got to get your money. He can't do that. No. Because let me explain something to you. And I always, and I'm not 50 Cent rider and all that.
You're fair.
But I'm fair. No, I didn't Rick Ross didn't put your son through acting school. 50 did. Rick, I'm pretty sure, and I saw the text that he put out. I'm pretty sure financially, Meech will be taken care of. So I don't know if it was Meech being naive and arrogant to think that, yo, I'm just doing this thing with him. It ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm not trying to be funny or throw a shot. But you should have had the respect enough to have the conversation with 50 and say, yo, this is what's going on. I need to have this conversation. But on the flip side of it, you know better. You know better. That BMF show ain't through Rick. Who does Rick Ross have? And then, Rick Ross's stupid, idiotic behind. Let me rephrase from calling names. Ross's naive self thought, well, we'll make our own movie. How you gonna do that?
50 owns the life
How
rights.
How you gonna do that? Thank you. How you gonna do that?
50 Cent, for the people who don't know, Rick Ross came out and said, oh, well, I'll get the big directors, so it's a big production deal. And 50 sitting back laughing like, you do realize I own the life rights or the creative rights to the BMF story, right?
Mind you,
go ahead.
Mind you, the so-called snitch, Tammy Cowens, is over there with him. So now that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Because then he can do the Tammy Cowens story.
And so now that whole situation, and then that's not to mention everything 50 did for Meech. Even little Meech said that. He said he did a lot for my father that nobody else did. So at the end of the day, Ross, who's talking about what we gonna do, really?
What did you do?
And do you own, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna pull a Dame Dash. Do you own your publishing? Does he own his publishing? I think Meek Mill had an issue with that whole situation. Do you have your own publishing? Maybe you need to worry about MMG. That is completely irrelevant at this point. I don't even know.
Where's Wale at?
Where's Gunplay? I don't even hear him. Is he even on a reality show anymore?
Where's the dude from the Bronx?
Torch? I don't know. Don't know what they doing. So I kind of see where 50 is saying, and this goes into what I'm saying. If I was 50, I would still go with it and get I'm gonna get this money from this show. We gonna keep this show going. Your son can rock. I don't want nothing to do with you. Like, your son can rock. I'm cool with it. I ain't got nothing bad to say about you.
50's cut different. You gotta burn it all down.
I can't stay nowhere near you. You gotta stay away from me. I don't want nothing to do with you. So at the end of the day, but I don't know what Meech was thinking, and he needs to explain that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you think you above saying, "Oh, who is you? Who is you?" I'm sorry, was your ass sitting in jail? What you first of all,
For
nobody
16
knew when you
years.
was coming. Nobody knew you was coming home. And it wasn't even guaranteed you were coming home.
He wasn't supposed to come home until like 2030.
And 50 made sure you were taken care of, pushed your story. And then not only that, Terry, but I don't think he was dealing with Terry, so I don't know that whole situation. But he took a picture with Preem's son. And it just starts to get to a point where these dudes have no morals and ethics and they should know better. Because I don't remember anybody. Rick Ross made a record, said, I think I'm Big Meech. That's about all that I know about it.
But here's the flip side. What did he do for the real Rick Ross?
Nothing.
The real Rick Ross came home and had to get a lawsuit and lost in court.
He ran and hid.
While the rapper Rick Ross used his label attorneys to get off on a technicality and left the real Rick Ross with a lawsuit that he had to pay for. Without his name, he can't copyright it. He can't earn image and NIL, name, image, and likeness. So he did that to the real Rick Ross.
I don't think Meech understands the damage he did. I think he has no clue about the damage he did.
He thought this was 2002 and he was running around with those rappers.
Can I ask you something? And then I keep hearing, I don't know whose podcast it was, and it was like, the streets love Meech.
It's 2025.
I'm gonna say
not
that again.
2004.
We talk about this all the time on our podcast. We talk about this all the time. about that street mess and all that stupidity and mess. So all these street cats come into the hip hop culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all come from the streets.
Talk about it.
How many stories do we hear about about these guys getting robbed? They don't own their publishing. They don't own their business. So the streets love Meech. What are they gonna do? Didn't Wack talk about how he tried to run up on 50? That didn't work out well,
Not
did
too
it?
well.
Didn't it? Game all of them. It doesn't work out well. It never works out. Nobody cares about the damn streets. Nobody cares.
Especially for somebody, I hate to say this because he's about the only person in hip hop who defeated the streets. For the people who don't know, maybe do your homework on who 50 Cent defeated.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother topic because then I don't want people to bring up.
He had a few wars with a few people.
He had a few wars with a few kingpins.
Yeah.
Not street individual kingpins that he survived. Yeah. This is what's going on that people are laughing at as child's play to him.
Yep.
This is kind of child's play for 50 Cent. Like, I'm close to 40. Like, I remember what was going on in the media before YouTube.
Yep.
This is a walk in the park for dude.
And you know what's funny? You understand that's Ross, and Ross I think he sometimes, I'm trying to be objective because I never met that man. I don't know him. I've never crossed paths with him. But, even when Gillo and Wallow did an interview with him, he threw a shot at them. And they ain't really even do anything. All they did was ask him, like, yo, what's your problem with Ross? Like, where did that all stem from? Like, what's going on? And, Ross, like, throws a shot at them. I ain't never see one. I could tell you now, Gilly and them had beef with Wayne and them, and not a thing happened ever to Gilly. So, because clearly Gilly is who Gilly says he is.
Philly's a different animal.
So, you over here running your mouth, talking, and let me also say this to young kids. Don't let these cats fool you. They will tell and snitch and sing fast. A dude that's telling you that he's playing and talking tough and he's making jokes and whatever, don't worry. Just sit back and wait. Because I can assure you there ain't going to be no more say. If 50 said that he ain't doing it, just wait and see. Just wait and see. And the chess move is, now you put your son in a bad space. You just came home. I don't know what millions of dollars you going to get him. Good luck with that.
You're going to mess around, and unfortunately, your son is going to be doing Tubi movies if he don't move right. And let me say this, because Little Meech, I don't know him personally. He's
innocent.
He's innocent. He's growing up into be a young man, but he needs to watch it too, because I also saw him walking around New York City with slow bucks.
Really?
You know where I'm going with that conversation.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You could walk around with whoever you want to walk around with, but there's consequences.
What you mean to do that when they mollywopped his ass?
So you already know where
stage. They mollywopped him all through the stage. I think he was getting beat up from one end of the stage to the next end of it.
And I don't have a problem with dude. I actually interviewed them. Yeah. I actually interviewed Slow and Bucks. Mm-hmm. Big salute to them. I'm just saying, there's bad blood there.
Yeah.
So you're walking around with them. I hope these people you're affiliating yourself with can get you a job, can get you an acting role moving
Yep.
forward. Because if 50 cut the lights off and turn the water faucet off, you're going to be alone in the dark, thirsty. All these
And
rappers that say they can help you, where were they 3 years ago?
he's got Tammy now. You in some real trouble now. I don't think the streets are gonna be loving you too much if they find out you a third party snitch. Because Wack done exposed that.
You know, there was a line on the internet where they was talking about 90s basketball, making fun of it. A dude saying, "We done with the 90s."
Yeah.
I'm gonna apply that here.
Yeah.
We done with the 90s drug dealers.
Yeah.
We done with y'all kingpins.
Yeah.
Y'all done did y'all time. We respect y'all, the urban legend stories, but do you think there's too much emphasis on our culture, like rolling out the red carpet for people who destroyed our communities? Not saying we can't respect them, not saying they can't get a second chance, but this integrating back into society and platforming them. But we got people from our community who graduated college, who are business owners, and so forth, and can't get the same respect or the same light. What are your thoughts on that?
As far as like who we're profiling and promoting, I think it goes back to industry, smoke and mirrors. You get what I'm saying? Like a drug dealer gets pushed and promoted and respected more than a brother that's going and he's gonna do it the right way. He's gonna work 2 jobs. He's gonna hustle. He's gonna get his career off. He's gonna go through the struggles. Me and you work in corporate America.
Yep.
You're gonna deal with blatant racism, disrespect. You're gonna tolerate it for the sake and sanity of the people that depend on you.
Yeah.
Whether it's your kids, whether it's your grandparents, parents,
Your wife,
woman. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I think those men don't get respected, and it's funny because now if you look at the era, it's like they expect you to be making 6 figures. That game never ends. It's an end game. And I think it's wrong, man. We profile on the wrong things, So I just don't understand, and it's not my fight. We don't have no.
we don't got no picks.
Yeah, but it don't make no.
There got to be a
sense.
shift within the culture, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying that these people don't deserve second chances, because I'll be a hypocrite. Yes, they deserve second chances, but as soon as they come home, it seems like the podcasts, the magazines, and the clubs, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's throw a welcome home party," and so they can get their money up. Like, if you throwing a welcome home party so this person can get a $25,000 paycheck at night, what about the black businesses in your community?
Yeah,
because you also could do the same thing for those food trucks,
Facts.
for those clothing designers, for the artists in your community, and help them pop a lot faster than a drug dealer that's coming home who sold drugs in the community for 20 years.
Let me ask you something. Did you said his party was canceled?
Yeah.
What do you mean it was canceled? What
It's
happened?
shut down. It's 50 Cent. You're not getting it? It's a wrap.
Wow.
Artists started pulling out.
Really?
Yeah, like, I don't think you got what I was saying.
You didn't put that part in there.
The word in these YouTube streets is artists started slowly pulling out, because first it was a free concert, so they weren't getting paid. But now that this talk that he ain't who he say he is,
Yeah.
because of, and it wasn't just 50 Cent, for the people who don't know,
Yeah, it was
Gully TV talked about this 3 years ago.
He talked about it a while ago.
And people were calling him stupid, saying he need to mind his business. But he was saying the word in these streets is there's some third party cooperation. Then it made it its way to 50 Cent, and 50 Cent put the light on it. But it got to a point that quick where 50 Cent is turning the lights off and the water off.
Gully was the first one that had it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept hearing Tanisha Welsh.
Yep.
That's her name. She blew it up in that Vlad interview. I never forgot that. Because Gully came out first with it, and then Welsh had came out with it. But you didn't know who that girl was, Tammy Cowan, whatever her name is. You didn't know who she was. So you was like, yo, I was trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So then, then the situation with Wack.
That's a sidebar.
Okay.
That's
okay.
big.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
back.
that soon. Then Wack 100 came out about it. Now he said he saw the paperwork. So he said, and that's one too many. And all 3 of them, and it's just like with Gully, same thing with Wack. I don't agree with everything the way he handles things, but at the same time, it's too much. Like when he comes with it, it's like a strong. You can't contest it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to sit there and say, okay, now Tanisha done said it, Gully TV done said it, Whack 100 done said it. Now 50's on it. So now that's 4 reputable people and / platforms that have now blown this up, and now 50 got that woman over there. So now he's gonna tell that story. Something as bad is gonna happen. So I can assure you, for everything that you did, just because you took a picture with Ross, who is not gonna, I hope Ross is taking care of him, because you're gonna be responsible for that, being that you were involved. And let me give it, and let me call Audible. Can I call Audible?
Go ahead.
So the whole thing is, because we did give a eulogy to Irv. Let me say this for a fact, and I don't care if it's popular or unpopular. If somebody's affiliated with you being shot 9 times, and they're blocking you from feeding your family to try to make a way for you to feed your family, I'm sorry, I don't have no mercy for them. Let me give you an analogy. Have you watched there's a show I'm watching right now called The Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
It's on HBO Max.
I haven't watched it, but go ahead.
Okay, so there's the daughter of a mob boss. She ends up getting out, long story short. When you look back at her backstory, the father has set her up because I think she had kind of came on or something, and it was by accident, but she didn't believe the girl. Long story short, her father was killing people. He was strangling the women. I'm not going to get into the whole story. But she kind of didn't believe it anyway, but just to make sure, he took her down, right? He took her down. He basically destroyed her life, like her younger life.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, I think she was talking to one, I forgot what scene it was, and she was like, you just like your father. She said, no, I'm not like my father. She said, my father died tap dance on his grave to celebrate. Do you get what I'm saying? Because of what he did to her. So I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to call Benzino out because he was in one of the interviews I saw just recently, but he wasn't the only one that said it, but he was like,
a lot of people.
But he should have some respect for the dead or whatever. Listen, you can't have it both ways. It's just like what we talked about with Meech. You can't have it both ways. If you want to sit there and say, yo, Junior, and we from the streets, if anybody is from that era, from that lane, you know better. I can tell you right now, you shoot at me 9 times, I ain't got no mercy for you. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care what took you down. I don't care who in your family's affected by it. If you got something to do with me getting popped 9 times, I could care less about how you went out. And there's probably things I'm going to say and do that I'm not going to say on this camera. That, to be honest with you, that if you think with 50 posting that picture is bad, you're going to think I'm a horrific individual. So you cannot have it both ways. Y'all want to live in that imaginary world of saying, oh, well, the man is gone. Why is 50 keep?
You saw those comments, right?
Yeah. And I'm kind of laughing. Like, do y'all not remember? And let's call it what it is. It ain't just that shooting 9 times.
Oh, it's the other stuff.
There was multiple incidents.
There was a stabbing. There was
one after that. There was things being said. There was stuff involved. And I get it from him. Yeah. He's the only one that can do that because nobody else was shot.
We're in the media. We're civilians. We're in the media.
Right.
We're paying homage. We're paying respect.
Mm-hmm.
But respect to what you just said as far as 50 Cent. I'm seeing people in the comments talking about he need to grow up. He need to let that go.
No, we don't.
If somebody is responsible or affiliated with the individual who shot you 9 times, then they try to blackball you from feeding your family. Then they go on this media campaign. Then they're at war with you. Then their artists are trying to stab you in the studio.
Yep.
And you survive it. I'm sorry. You're going to have a chuckle or two if something happened to him.
Yeah.
Like, my situation. Somebody tried to play with me a long time ago. And I told you, I said, no hard feelings to the person. Yeah, I moved on. But I'm not going to cry if you get hit by a Mack truck.
Yep.
No disrespect.
Take a picture and say, "Look at this. This is what happens when you cross me."
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but that's just how we are as human beings. We're not all as mature as other people, especially cancers.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all cancers.
Yeah, listen, Tauruses are the worst because we bullheaded. So I just wanted to put that clip because I think people are not, and we probably have an unpopular opinion, and I don't so care. As Stephen A. Smith says, I don't give a damn. And I'm Azar Johnson. I approve this message. So trust me when I tell you, we don't really care. We're telling you this is what it is. He had it coming. It was what it was. Nobody else has said anything because, you know, they know. Even if they had issues with him, it wasn't to the like. Even Dame said it. He said, I had issues with him, but I didn't want the man to go out. You know what I mean? He had a genuine love for him. Right, that's how you handle it. But Dame didn't have what he had with 50 had with him. Mm-hmm. So no, he's grown. He is growing up. And okay, I get it. He could not have said nothing. But at the same time, I'm not shocked that he did say it. I'm not shocked. Trust me. In the streets, dudes have done that all the time. And let's talk about with the Trill. I'm smoking on somebody else, and then
the drill rap.
Yeah. I'm doing this. The Chief Keef laughing at one of the dudes that supposedly he had a hit on. Come on, son. Really? We gonna sit there and say 50 should grow up? Really? So now it ain't okay.
Yeah, I was listening to King Von yesterday. The serial murderer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember King Von who was killed tragically a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Didn't y'all all love King Von out there who loved drill rap? The serial killer, because he was a serial killer. Yeah. But now 50 Cent need to grow up.
Nope.
Yeah, like I said, we can respect Irv legacy, but don't expect 50 Cent.
He did grow up.
Feel sorry
he did
for
grow
him.
Up. You know why he grew up? Because he's over there doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's minding his business. And to be honest with you, he doesn't bother people. People be bothering him. Just from the angle I'm kind of looking at it, to be honest, even with the Ross thing, I'm not trying to go back to that. Remember, Ross made this record first. And even then when 50 kind of tried to let it go, Ross came right back again. He said, I'm not going to let up on your ass this time. Now I'm going to get you. And I'm never going to stop. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't throw shots all day. It is what it is. And you know what's funny? I ain't never seen Ross cross pass one. Why don't you go shoot a fair one with him in the park?
No.
Yeah, they don't want to.
I saw how he boxes. I saw how he boxes versus how 50 Cent works out.
Yeah, it will not happen. It will not go well.
Okay, Ross.
It won't go well.
We also saw Ross in Canada getting punched in the face and walked out the back door. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to ramble too much on that.
I know.